All right, welcome guys to the last 3 episodes of Andor season 2. Again, I am joined by the green annoying guy, AC
Oi,
Skywalker.
that's rude. I'm not the green annoying guy. I'm just green. I'm not that annoying. I just exist and eat lots of pasta while Chris sits there in his pastaless state.
The reason why I said that is because there was a comment that we me, you, and then Lindy saw on our YouTube where someone just said that, man, that green guy is really annoying. The green alien dude is so annoying.
I'm like, what a bitch! Why would you say that? So mean.
Hold on, let me pull up the actual thing so I can read it verbatim.
I love how about our responses. I love how about the responses was.
Okay, here it is. Dang, green guy is so annoying, and it was when we reacted to the secret level Warhammer episode, and and I responded. And I responded to it. Tell me about it. The guy who does a podcast with him and games with him regularly. And then Lindy responded to it and said, "Tell me about it. The person who lives with him and has dated him for over 11 years."
And I'm sitting here like, why are you all picking on me? What did I ever do to you? I just breathed in and out.
Telling sarcastically, telling my guys.
Yeah, we're like being sarcastic to the guy.
Guy is so rude.
Yeah, it was really funny. And I'm almost sure, because I saw when I was on the dashboard, I saw one person unsubscribed from the channel, and I was like, oh, it's probably that guy because we're clowning on him so much.
I regret nothing about clowning on someone who's being that rude. It's also really funny just to clown on people like that.
Yeah. And you, I don't understand why he would say that you were being so annoying when we were all just like geeking out over the Warhammer episode.
I mean, some people just don't have anything useful to say, so they're just say pointlessly annoying things.
Yeah. But enough about Warhammer. We're going to be watching
Andor.
the last 3 episodes of Andor. And AC has already told me to be ready to have my heart crushed because something is going to happen.
Wow. Look, I found it.
Undy found the clown. By which I mean the dog. The dog was somewhere. He's hungry and he ran off when he was supposed to be fed, so now he's being beggy.
Alright, guys. We are watching Season 2, Episode 10, Make It Stop. If you guys want to get that loaded up. I think once we're done with this Andor Season 2, we're most definitely going to watch Rogue One. Because from what I've read, that it just leads up into Rogue One quite seamlessly.
Oh, 100%.
And things have, like, more context, I guess? Or, like, more weight to them.
Yep.
Since I'm gonna make a prediction, since Luthen doesn't show up in Rogue One, or is like mentioned anywhere else, I'm almost sure he's gonna die. Sometime.
What about Claire? She's like
Claire.
Ward. Claire.
Oh yeah, the lady. I don't know. Has she been mentioned in shit? I don't think so, right?
Not that I know of. No.
Yeah. Maybe she just maybe they both die, or maybe Luthen dies and she just goes underground and doesn't do anything. Or maybe she just helps from the shadows and like no one ever knows. Or maybe she takes over Luthen after Luthen dies.
Oh,
if he
maybe.
dies.
You want to know a fun fact about the agents, the rebels agents?
Mm-hmm.
They all went by the same code name. So the rebel spy agent's code name was Fulcrum.
Yeah.
Now, from Galaxy of Heroes, who do you know of who goes by Fulcrum?
Ahsoka.
She was the originator of that name.
That's funny.
So she's Fulcrum. She's the original Fulcrum. And then all the rest, like Cassian was a Fulcrum. Cassian counted as one of the Fulcrums. And so did Agent Callus from Rebels, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Do you remember him?
All right.
All Fulcrums.
I think we're good to go. Let's go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Let's go. Dejanera.
And as always, we always watch the last time on Andor. So take that into account.
Yeah. Oof. That's never a good sign coming from someone like him.
Do they do hangings still? Or do they just get executed?
No, they usually get shot or tortured to death. Yeah.
I'm guessing
as empires do.
They don't make like a public grand display of it to fuck with the other rebels.
They do sometimes, but not often. He's lost track of it all. There's so much. He
Yeah.
needs to know more. Yeah. They are drowning.
All right, that's it for the last time on Andor.
Yep. Now we're on to the actual episode. Also, fun fact: I believe this episode has a cameo of sorts from my favorite planet in Star Wars.
What, Tatooine?
No, why would my favorite planet be fucking Tatooine? Tatooine is a rubbish planet. No,
Coruscant. No. I mean, it already takes
no,
place
you'll
on
see.
Coruscant.
I'll tell you when we get there. No, it's not Coruscant. Cool as a planet as Coruscant is, it's not my favorite, or even remotely close to it.
Dude, I was browsing Reddit right now. They're making a
Yeah.
Spaceballs 2.
That's fucking hilarious.
And the Star Wars subreddit posted it.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
A year before, or the year of the Battle of Revan.
yeah, I posted it in the chat if you want to take a look.
Yeah, let me take a peek.
Oh no, red blinking light.
Don't you trust red blinking lights?
Oh, that's weird. It sounds like the the radar thing in Alien Isolation.
Does
The
it? I hadn't
movement
noticed.
the movement detector. Sounds like
Yeah.
it a little bit. Ooh. What did that even accomplish just looking at it like that? Are you able to see how much more shots you have, or
A bit. Uh, huh.
hmm. Oh, Luthen. Oh, this is giving me death flags. Please don't make my prediction right.
You don't want to be right?
No, because I like Luthen.
You'll probably be fine. Be fine.
I mean, he'd be dead by the sequel trilogy, so there's like no chance of him coming back, but still. I don't want him to die.
He's an old man. It's fine. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it, Chris.
No, this is definitely a trap.
You reckon?
Yeah, in a big open area like this.
He did something.
The Death Star.
Ooh. Wait for it. Ooh.
Oh. And she won't know that her
Hmm.
files have been accessed.
Well, not yet. Hmm.
Okay, it's definitely the Death Star. There's nothing bigger than the Death Star.
There's something.
I mean, there's Project Necromancer, but that's like a Jedi shit thing. This is like more rebel focused.
Yeah, it's also, here we go.
Cowkite.
Kelkite. Oh, a big boy. Of course, it's a Death Star. What else would it be, obviously? It's star-sized and it's deathy.
Yavin.
Ah,
I've heard that name before, but
Yavin.
yeah.
No, no, Yavin 4.
Oh yeah, Yavin. I thought it was a different planet.
He's just saying it weird.
Yeah. Wait, but where's the guy?
Even for the second.
Oh. Oh, Luthen fucking killed him.
Of course he did.
Oh, it's one of those thingies. I remember those cat guys.
Oh, yeah, Lothcat.
Oh. Fuck. Wait, why did he kill him? He wasn't a threat.
Not beyond what he knows. Hmm. Do you think this is going to go well? Chris, you got a good feeling about this? I got a good feeling
No.
about this. Nothing bad's going to happen here.
No.
All going to
He
be fine. Don't
Luthen
worry.
is planning on himself getting killed. This is like his last chance. That's why he's sending her out, cuz he's so she can live.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I see.
Mm.
Mhm. You think this is going to go well? Who do you think's at the door, Chris?
Is it Deidre? Is it Deidre? Oh, look who it is. It's Deidre.
Wow, it's very surprising, isn't it?
No.
Aren't you surprised to see Deidre up here? Yeah, peaceful. Dream.
Luthen better kill her.
Oh, you think Luthen's going to kill her? That's a theory. It's a film theory.
Oh, that's where you are,
Northland
I see.
Bleeder. Yeah. Look, you can even see one of my people on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at that dagger. Oh. Define real. Attention melt. Is it a blade? What do you want? Come. Down. Down. All time people should. Ooh, is the tension mounting for you, Chris? Do you feel it? Oh, it is. It's definitely not. Probably something mild and normal. You know, not that it's not stunning. It's probably something exists.
Huh.
Ooh, that looks familiar. If you remember season 1.
Isn't that the thing that Cassian stole?
In season 1, yeah. Very beginning. Ah, the pretenses are dropping.
But how does she tie that to him?
She gets him to confess.
You want chaos. That's what oh my god, that's what they all fucking say, man.
Yeah, obviously.
The wig.
Uh-huh. Woo. Fly, 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 little birdie. Dude. Will he? Wow, you're
Mm,
confident, Deidre. Don't you think she's confident, Chris?
yeah.
You think she knows? You think she's right, Chris? Hmm. Oh, be stunned. Ooh.
No, Luthen! No.
How's that? Ooh. That music, though, dude. So good.
No.
I love how she's like, he can't die. Well, why can't he die? Is he an immortal? Is he like. Apparently, he can't die. He mustn't die. All I can think is shame, Deidre. You failed.
I honestly thought he would have had the entire store rigged to blow up. Honestly.
Nah. He's more subtle. They're always more subtle than you expect.
It's their version of an ambulance.
Yes. Never a great sign, is it? Ah! Miro's caused problems and then Young's dead as well. It's like, oh no, everybody's just dying all at once. What the fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. Young is dead. Oh no. That is a hell of a dagger.
Yeah.
Oh, false gods.
Oh, the Mortis gods?
Yeah, that's what those hand signs are from.
I remember the episode, but I didn't recognize the symbols.
Yeah, it's because usually they're shown with like the full bodies. That was just showing the hand signs, hand symbols. Oh, collecting pistols. Unfortunate, I would argue.
Yeah. I really hope that all of his efforts to destroy all the evidence really did work and they don't scavenge anything.
What matter? Wow, Cassian's old apartment's gone to shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Brooks' return as a yogurt.
You think she's gonna survive?
I hope so.
Wow, you're optimistic. Oh, they won Crossfire, dude. They're missing it. Oh, we're getting backstory.
Oh,
Gotta
for
love some
Luthen?
backstory for Luthen. Look how young he is.
Damn.
Look at his hair. He looks like you. Yeah,
Thank you.
still older, but yeah, you look like you've got very millennial taste in hairstyles. Old man.
So I'm guessing Luthen was part of the Clone Wars?
Mm, kind of, but also not fully. Like he was a military dude, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but like he wasn't just in the Clone Wars. He
Oh.
also was part of some of the pacification stuff from the Empire.
Mm.
How? He wants him to make it stop. They can. Wow, that's never great.
Oh, wait, so Luthen was former Empire? I mean, you probably know where this takes place or like when. So
Kind of. It's one of the imperial genocides. There's a lot of them. They do it. The Empire was not exactly subtle with their genocides. They did them a lot.
hmm.
Easy control. You just pacify a civilization or two.
Oh, did he just like desert or?
Not yet. A lot of stuff happened.
Damn.
It's pretty brutal.
I guess this makes sense why he's so anti-Empire. All the bad shit that they did. Oh my god, is she gonna have to kill him? Oh fuck. Make sure he stays dead.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, not the Imperials. They need him alive. Well, it's a lot of Stormies.
Well, at least
Rude.
even under the Empire rule, that there's still some pushback from the doctors.
Fun fact: this hospital is named after one of the best chancellors from the.
From the what? Oh, you cut out a little. I can't hear you. If you're talking, I can't hear you right now.
High Republic. Nah, I went quiet. I was listening.
Oh.
Some of the dialogue's riveting, man.
You cut off right when you were saying this hospital is named after one of the Supreme Chancellors.
Yeah, Lena So. She was. Oh my god! Every time I talk.
There's no
Anyway, she
dialogue
was.
going on.
Bruh. This time it just felt like it cut me off again. Anyway, Lena So. She was the She was the chancellor during the High Republic during the High Republic books.
Hmm. pretty interesting locker room.
It makes sense. I'm surprised she found a uniform that fits
Yeah,
that
just,
easily, given
just by
not
chance.
everyone's just human.
Oh, look, an alien in the little back in the background. Little tiny alien.
There should be more aliens. Should always be more aliens, man.
As one with a one alien with the tail walks in the background.
Hmm? Mm. Everything's out of control. She deserves it. Oof.
Hmm. Eventually, the boot comes to her.
Yep. She gets what she deserves.
What was her name again? Claire?
Claire.
Claire? Okay.
Claire. What are you saying Claire for? It's someone else.
Oh, Clea.
That's what I said like 5 times.
I heard you say
You're just fucking
Clara.
deaf. No, Claire.
You're saying the same thing.
No, I'm not. You're just fucking deaf.
I'm saying Clea. You're saying Claire.
No, you're just fucking deaf and can't hear Claire.
Okay, now you pronounce it a little bit better.
No, you just have a terrible ability to hear. Up to 9. Oh, wow. Hey,
He's a really good
titanium words there.
negotiator.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so they just went or he just went AWOL, I guess, and they never came looking for him.
Yeah. They probably just assumed he died. Shouldn't be too surprising. Empire doesn't give that much of a shit about their people. old lady just being like, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
The most British thing you could say. Love.
That they mean love. Mm. Nah, my gran used to call me that, say that, and she's not British at all. She's fucking Afrikaans as hell. Going with all that fundamava. Actually, let me pronounce it correctly. Fundamava. Chuckle. Hmm. Nah.
Hmm.
Huh. Just away. Look, the Empire's doing Empire shit.
Is this where Luthen's Spark of Rebellion came from?
No, you'll see. It's where hers came from. I'd argue.
Ah, firing squad.
Oh, that sound effect of the like.
Yeah, the blasters whirring up.
It's such a good sound effect. I love it. They just kill him and then walk away.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it didn't show us the killing though.
Did show us the bodies though.
Hmm. He has a point.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the instant just fucking move.
Mm-hmm. Poor grandma.
Ah. Oof.
Oh god, that looks so painful.
Imagine being the stunt guy who had to do that
Yeah. Ugh.
and like fall flat on your face. That's impressive dedication to your craft. My favorite planet.
This is Alderaan?
No, that's Naboo.
Oh, okay. I always get them confused, like architecture wise, but then I realized that we'd never
Alderaan looks
never
closer to Coruscant than that.
we didn't really see much of Alderaan outside of the Obi-Wan show. At least I don't remember.
And episode 3.
I haven't seen that one in so long, so.
Well, no shit. Have every right. Huh.
What is that gonna do?
You'll see. They do show you what it does. They're spies. You have to do the spy thing.
Oh.
See?
Nice.
The Emperor's main planet. Oh, Palpatine's home planet.
Yeah. Strike him where it hurts.
Well, really hard. Palpatine didn't give a shit.
Oh.
You remember, Palpatine's an asshole.
Yeah, I saw a video where it detailed like he ended up killing his whole family, right?
Yep. He killed his family to prove his loyalty to the Sith and Plagueis. And he did it easily.
What was that? And you're looking at them explode.
Yep.
Ooh, headshot. Jesus.
Yeah, no, she's brutal.
It's like that's like a
I'd chill
revolver
for it.
one.
Yep.
Oh, it's acting like his lungs then, I guess.
Yep. Did puncture his lungs with a knife.
Did we even see like where exactly the knife got plunged, or I just assumed it was like in his stomach, like Senpuku style.
Yeah, something like that. What do you mean Senpuku-sa? It's seppuku.
Oh, seppuku, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oof. And watch him die slowly.
Would have been better if you just shot him in the head, honestly.
Maybe. But he wasn't conscious. She just turned off life support. Let him slip out of the world.
Mm.
Hey, you! Gets completely fucking ignored.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, is the correct response.
Poor
Don't show your
Luthen,
face to
man.
those who want to fight you. Nah, it's not poor Luthen. He did this himself. He chose this. It's just the end of his story.
Yeah.
He'd already sacrificed everything.
That's it's a really sad, just like slow fade to black. Oh. It's like they just wanted us to sit on his dead body.
Pretty much.
Man, Luthen was such a cool fucking character, man.
No, he really was. Very complicated character.
Yeah. One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist.
Yep.
But still, really good character. It's fitting
And
that he ends up dying. At least we know that the Empire eventually falls because of the information he managed to get from Young
it
regarding.
starts the dominoes. It also means it's there was a whole thing online about people being like, about a lot of fans complaining, oh, Luke just comes along and steals all the thunder from Andor and Luther. I'm like, nah, they set it up so Luke could do that. Without them, none of them could probably make the shot that Luke ends up making, in episode 4. This all leads back to episode 4 and all that stuff that happens there. And it doesn't detract from Luke or make him any less of a hero. He's just a different type of hero that's needed by the galaxy after Cassian. Cassian's the hero needed at this point in history when it's like at its darkest, the Empire's at its most brutal.
Yeah.
They needed to start to get everything rolling, to get the rebels to look like heroes. They first needed to be basically terrorists, the bad guy. The very complicated bad guys who could get in, who could fight the enemy that won't even acknowledge them as human or sapient. They will just, abuse them for their own means, whatever the fuck they want, right?
Yeah.
Luke's the hero they need after that, when that's done, when they need like a symbol. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Do you
Anyway,
do you think that Luke could have done like the hard stuff like Cassian did?
well, for one thing, he was 19, so probably not. But Luke does do hard stuff. He just doesn't do it. He doesn't do any of the spy stuff that Cassian ends up doing.
Yeah.
He's also fundamentally a different character, which is what makes the Star Wars universe feel good, because they're not all just as weirdly morally ambiguous as Cassian. Luke's just a farm boy who decided the right thing to do would be to fight.
Yeah.
And that makes him fantastic in his own way. Anyway, let's continue. I have too many thoughts on this, and continue. I'm going to just start talking about fucking Superman, which I'm excited for that movie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Next month, right? Next month
I
or
think so.
2 months?
Let me see. I don't know. I thought it was this month, if I'm honest.
July. So
next month.
Tickets are on sale now if you guys want to go ahead and get tickets to the Superman movie. I can't wait to see it.
And you're in America.
Yeah.
I don't think we get it yet. Oh no, we get it before you, which has happened before. Which is very funny to me.
You asshole.
All right.
All right, we're on season 2, episode 11. Who else knows? That's
We're on the penultimate episode.
Gonna be starting right now. 3,
Let's
2,
go.
1, play.
Bada boom.
Oh yeah, her leaving.
Mm-hmm.
How? I'm gonna ask you a theoretical question. What
Yeah.
if Luthen ended up surviving and escaping with Clea? What do you think would have happened?
I don't know. I think it would have. I think they might have ended up getting caught because I think they both would have died, and that would have also just been a more depressing thing. It would have fit with the bleakness of a lot of Andor, but I feel like Andor shouldn't. It would thematically not fit into what follows, where it builds up into hope.
Yeah.
I will say, I kind of wish we got to see Leia as like a senator in this.
How old would Leia be at this time?
She's the same age. She's Luke's twin, so 19.
Okay. Just imagine they have like the really weird animation like that they did for Rogue One at the end. Yeah, the deepfake.
It wouldn't look as weird as it did back then.
Yeah.
The tech's come a long, long way since then. Like, if they went and just refreshed those effects, it would look even better.
Because we saw, I think the latest thing that we saw was it season 3 or 2 of Mandalorian? Or actually, no, was it Book of Boba Fett that had Luke in it?
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. That one had a really
Season
good
3.
look. That one had a really good looking Luke in it. Man.
Ooh.
Dude, I feel like we should straight up just watch Rogue One after after this.
Well, we can't watch it straight away because it's a long ass movie. But we will watch it next week.
What about tomorrow?
Well, I can be persuaded.
I really want to just like watch it while it's still fresh while it's like fresh in my mind. Hmm. Ooh. Power trip.
Not even. He's just tired of bullshit. Like, I wouldn't describe it as a power trip, you know?
Do they not have fingerprint recognition or like shit like that?
They do, but the code cylinders are like key to their DNA. Plus, they have like a lot of citizens are like coded so they can buy shit. It's weird.
No, it's
At least
Krennic.
Imperial citizens.
God, that cape that Krennic has is so fucking cool looking. Is he like the only one that has like a fucking cape like that?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
So cool.
Eh. Huh. Huh.
I'm still confused how Deidre had the classified knowledge on the Death Star.
Uh, she was given it when she was given the assignment to do Gorman. Were you not paying attention back in the beginning of the season?
I was, but
You're not showing that you were paying attention. You're like missing
Deidre,
obvious things.
it's like Deidre's like so low level. I mean, she would have just known that they just needed the calcite, not know what it was
No,
for.
he told them. He literally told them what it was for. Also, they're explaining that she figured it out.
Hmm. Ooh.
Ha, this has been meme to shit. Hmm. Wow, she sounds like she's moaning.
I need to look up the Empire hierarchy.
Eh.
Okay, so it goes Emperor, Vader, Palpatine's Nepo buddies, Moffs and their naval counterparts, governors and their naval counterparts. So where is Deidre in that?
It's just a lieutenant, all the way near the bottom.
Yeah, Krennic really fucked up by letting Deidre in on that meeting. Because I don't
Not so
think
much.
the other people would have fucked it up that
She also
badly.
found out because of, as they said in the conversation, she also only found out about the Death Star because of a spy on Jeddah, who Krennic's team just tortured to death.
Oh, okay. I'm looking it up right now because I don't remember seeing the guy get tortured. Did they show us the guy getting
No, that
tortured?
no, he just talks about it. They literally said, like
Mm.
in the conversation, they talk about it. Are you just not paying attention to any of
No,
the dialogue?
I am, but I'm looking it up right now. I just googled it, and apparently Tivik. That's the thing that popped up when I put in Star Wars
Oh.
and Jeddah Spy.
Mm.
Oh wait, no, that's not him. That's the one that Cassian shoots in the beginning of Rogue One.
Yeah, different Jeddah spy.
What do you know the spy that they were talking about? Or is it just like some
No, it's just
unnamed?
it's a spy, it's an unnamed spy who the Imperials caught.
Okay.
Mhm.
You think it'd be fair to play against a droid?
Well, I mean, it's got an advantage against you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do you read a droid's poker face? Conspiring again. That's so funny.
God, this makes me so sad that the droids in the Star Wars universe are basically slaves.
It's more complicated than that. They are, but they aren't. It's weird. It depends entirely on the owner. Like R2 is never treated like a slave. Neither is 3PO. Oh, 3PO is kind of annoying, but 3PO is never treated like a slave.
What about in Episode 3 when Uncle Owen buys them from the Jawas?
That's episode A. That's episode 4. And B. What the?
Oh yeah, 4, yeah.
Uh, and he was still freeing him from the Jawas. They also live on a planet that has actual slavery on it as well. Or did you forget that the Hutts are
No,
slavers?
obviously, but we all know that the droids are sentient. Yet they're still treated like second-class citizens.
They don't exactly all act like that, and it's also hard. Would you treat your computer as better?
I mean, if my computer was sentient, no.
You wouldn't be threatened by it either. Plus, that keep in mind, a lot of these people also have like trauma from, say, the Clone Wars and how to deal with stuff like the fucking separatist droid armies that would slaughter relentlessly of everyone.
What was the name of the first planet that they tested the Death Star on? Was that Scarif?
Jeddah.
Oh, Jedi.
Jeddah. Not Jedi. Jeddah.
Yeah, Jedi. That's the one Saw Gerrera's on, right?
Yes.
Lies! The Empire?
No, they meant from. He means like in their own. He meant within the rebellion.
Oh.
Hmm?
God, I love K2.
A2 is awesome.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh, please.
Good questions.
Stop asking questions, dude. You're gonna get killed.
Nah, he's gonna be fine.
Remember the saying, curiosity killed the cat?
But satisfaction brought it back. You need to remember to finish these sayings.
I don't even know there was a finish to that saying.
Obviously, it's because everybody tries to use it to prevent you from being curious. It's better if everyone's scared to be curious. It's only give you half the saying.
I have a feeling that either Deidre's gonna get killed or she's gonna end up killing herself.
Maybe.
I mean, she has nothing. She doesn't have Cyril. She doesn't have the ISB. They've basically turned their back on her.
Pretty much. She can have less though as well.
Honestly, if if Leia was here, I think that she would send someone out to get Luthen or Clea. But that's
Leia
it.
would.
Yeah, that's just my
Huh.
feeling though.
You think Leia would be on side to help?
Yeah.
I think you are correct. Hmm.
Don't look so impressed. See,
Always look impressed.
it's that those little pieces of personality that make the show so nice. Obviously, she's trained in like broadcast and communications, so she's obviously impressed that they managed to do it. But she's Empire, and
Obviously,
she's
she's
Empire,
Imperial.
so yeah, yeah. Don't look impressed by what the rebels are doing.
I mean, you can, and then you can figure out how to beat it. Fun fact. Fun fact. KX units are basically just battle droids. Upgraded ones from the Clone Wars ones, but that's all they basically are.
Super battle
I mean,
droids, or
why
just
else
like
would you?
or B ones?
They're no. They're close to like super battle droids.
Okay.
Why would the Empire want B1 battle droids?
I mean, that was just one of the options, unless there's like a different type of battle droid that the Separatists use that I don't know about.
There's droidicas, but no. KX droids are not upgrades on specific battle droids. They're upgrades. They're just replacements. They're their own thing, but they are just battle droids. They're called security droids, but they're just a different flavor of battle droid. Dude.
Mm. What really surprises me is that they've never used something like the commando droids for like infiltration or
Well, they also
something on
didn't
that
want to use.
level.
I mean,
They could go like
I mean,
Terminator
they,
route where they just like put uh fake fake flesh over a
well,
droid.
they kind of did. They had droids that were similar to that. They could swap frames to become more battle, like a more destructive battle variant, but they were made illegal for because people in the Empire, obviously after the Clone Wars, didn't want another battle that was basically just more Clone Wars with different droids.
Yeah.
A part of it's also just public opinion that they wanted to keep in line.
I mean, they could obviously keep it a secret.
I mean, they could, but they didn't because they couldn't be fucked. But I mean, there's a bounty hunter who's essentially what you're describing.
Yeah, like the IGs.
No, not the IGs. He's a bounty hunter who's just a cyborg dude, but like he looks human, but he's 90% mechanical.
Is he in Galaxy of Heroes?
Not yet. He's in the comics. I don't remember his name. But he's antagonistic to Han Solo and Chewie a lot because Han's very good at pissing people off. Boom. Looks like it's going well, isn't it?
No.
Are you nervous?
Well, I know that Cassian and K2 are gonna make it, but I don't know about the
Uh,
the other dude, the dude that's with Cassian right
the
now,
other dude
or
was on
Clea.
Scarif with them at the end. The other dude's on Scarif with them in Rogue One.
I don't remember him at all.
That sounds like a you problem.
It's one issue with making a prequel series that has pre-established characters that you know are gonna survive.
Not really. I've never found it to be particularly an issue unless you are someone who constantly needs to be reminded of things because you're bad at remembering. Oh wait, I just described you. Um, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. It just means you have dramatic irony that's going on your side because you already kind of know what's going to happen due to being like kind of on the inside. If that makes sense. So dramatic irony means you just know, but the characters don't.
I guess it just kind of takes the tension out of it a little bit.
You say that, but like when you go into it, right? Just because you know that they survive doesn't necessarily mean that something bad won't happen. Because maybe they failed to save Claire.
Well, yeah, I just know that something won't happen as bad as them dying.
Yeah, but that's fine. It just shows you what Cassian had to go through in his life, and that's
Yeah.
just as powerful. Huh.
Was the guy's name Violet Valance?
Who?
That the
Yeah.
bounty hunter
Sorry,
you
it
told
took
me
me a
about?
second. Yeah.
Synth flesh. Huh.
Luke has synth flesh on his hand as well.
Yeah, because he lost it. I know that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that it
It's
had
like,
a name.
I mean, it's kind of an obvious name. It's just synth flesh, synthetic flesh.
Commando droid shoots her right in the face.
Nah. Hmm.
That reminded me so much of the PKG detector from Ghostbusters.
It probably was designed similarly, just kind of better. I mean, he's a spy, so he has to make sure. But like him saying, "Are you sure Luthen's dead?" to the person who killed him is kind of dark. Wow. She's oddly against the idea of just going to Yavin. She's part of the reason they got it, even.
Please don't kill off Clea too.
Well, you think this show's nice enough to leave us with a living character? Mm. I love it. Are you with us? No. Bye. It's probably one of my favorites. Just
No.
abject murder denials. No, I'm not with you.
I get the feeling they planned for something like this. A fake signal being sent to somewhere else. Oh, never mind.
Nope. Obviously. Mhm. The music is so good, dude.
Yeah, no.
It's so tense. It's amazing. I love it so much.
Really? Ending it like that?
Gotcha.
That episode didn't even feel that long. Not as long as the other one, the first episode.
Not the same, but this one was more tense. The last one was like slower because it's stuck on emotional beats. Those were more important to it. This one's more like a bit more actiony, so it feels faster because a lot more was happening in it. Or like of quick fire events were happening, but not necessarily like important in the same way. Events.
Yeah. What did Leia say in the original movie? Many blanks died to get us this information.
No, that's episode 6. It's a different. That's different. That's a different Death Star.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say many Luthans died to get us this information.
I mean, the original was many Bothans died to get
to
get them the second Death Star thing, but that was the second Death Star, not this one.
Okay. Oh, what a tense episode. You with us? No. Just fucking knocks him off.
That's still one of my favorite things. You with us? No. Bye. Fuck you. Fuck him, I guess.
It's also a little bit sad that they saved a bunch of the K2 scenes just for these last 3 episodes. I mean, there was the scenes with the enforcement droids on the during the Gorman thing, but it still really does kind of suck.
You wanted more like K2 with Cassian.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main reason they did that is because the writer felt that K2's like too powerful. So when there's supposed to be like a 10 scene, K2 just like fucking beats the shit out of anyone. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, that doesn't feel particularly tense. Well, K2's just gonna fix that shit.
I can imagine. Or at
least that's the argument.
That being
I don't like that argument. But,
that being a big point. That and like the CGI is like obviously really expensive to do, and they only have like so much budget, and they had
a lot of budget. They had a fuck of a lot of budget. They were given the biggest budget of any of the Star Wars things because the season 1 was so critically acclaimed that they just gave them budget. They had the biggest budget of all the Star Wars shows, like by a long shot. And that's why this one looks so much better than everything else.
Yeah, it really does show it, especially with the backgrounds and all like the sets. Especially also during like the Gorman massacre, like all the people there, like how pretty the sets look, how amazing like the CGI when it comes to like the big fights, like especially like the first episode with the starfighter, that really good, and it really looked like movie quality CGI. Really good.
Supposed to. But the thing, it kind of bothers me that they did this, and then, like, Kenobi was left just to fucking die, basically. With zero budget, like, so they were, like, restricted in a lot of ways, and then, but, yeah, no, don't get me started on, like, the things where they, like, sabotaged. They gave the Mandalorian, basically, new tech and giant stuff, but the moment, like, fan-favorite characters come back, they get, like, subpar everything. It's very annoying.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed is like Mandalorian and like Andor are probably like the biggest Star Wars shows that they've had.
Ahsoka is also pretty big, but not as big for some reason. Like all the fan favorite characters, everyone's like, eh. Or the writers all seem to be like meh. But the moment it's like they're new they're babies, it's like suddenly they have unlimited budget and it's really fucking irritating. It's like, why aren't you treating the characters that everyone fucking adores this way?
It makes me really it makes me realize how good Bad Batch was. Season 1 and season 2, how pretty it was. And
I mean that's animation though.
Yeah.
Animation is they know what they're doing with animation, because like if you watch season 7 of the Clone Wars, same deal. It looks amazing. It looks really close to Bad Batch. Actually, no, it looks basically identical in terms of like style and animation because they've just been improving their animation throughout the whole run of the Clone Wars show, and like Bad Batch and then season 7 of Clone Wars is like their absolute peak. Yeah, it's one of the fun things about watching through the Clone Wars is kind of watching the animation improve season by season. It's really fun seeing how much better it gets, and then you're like, oh, this is so cool. Oh, it gets better and better, and then like the animation just ramps up in terms of quality. It's so fun to watch.
I also remember seeing like a YouTube short saying that they had a really big budget for the show, and they wanted to make the show like extremely high quality and high production value, because that's just what George wanted to convey with like the story.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty accurate.
And then when when Disney bought Lucasfilms, the first thing that they made was Rebels, if I'm remembering correctly, right? That was the first Star Wars like animated thing that came out of like Disney buying Lucasfilms, and that one didn't look like as on par as Clone Wars because they didn't have enough budget.
Had a difference. What for Rebels? No, that was a different case. So that was because the art style was different. So they were going close to Ralph McQuarrie, the original like design guy for Star Wars, who designed like half the planets and stuff, or did the original like matte paintings for it. And so they did a lot of stuff where they try to match the style. So Vader looks a bit more angular, a bit different. The thing that is with Rebels is its animation quality isn't bad. It's actually good. It's fluid. It just looks different.
Yeah.
To Clone Wars, and people didn't like that because they all wanted just more Clone Wars because quite frankly,
good. It was really good.
Yeah, but quite frankly, Star Wars fans don't like new things. They complain bitterly about getting something new for like forever, and then won't accept it, and then cowardly executives listen to the bitching and moaning twats and make everything worse because they're trying to listen to the moaners instead of the people who like actively enjoyed it, or even just listening to their creatives. They don't do that. They listen to the people who moan the loudest. for some reason that you could not explain to me, and that will never make sense to me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on this final episode.
Season 2, episode 12, Jeddah, Kyber, Ursa. Okay.
Jeddah.
I'm expecting Luke Skywalker to come out of nowhere, defeat like the bad guys, and then take off his robe, and it has a really good deep fake.
It would be Obi-Wan in this time period, but that's not going to happen. Because quite frankly, this is Andor. They don't do cameos like that.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
Go for it. Oh yeah, I'm getting a Hulu ad. I love that.
That's weird. That's like the first time I've seen like an ad like
Oh, you could
that
skip it.
on here.
Oh, I love getting a Hulu ad.
Okay, well, we had a little ad before the last time on Andor.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw someone, was it on Reddit or Twitter, complaining that Bail Organa didn't, the actor in this show wasn't the same one as like the previous appearances.
Yep.
Like, oh my
He's not.
god, why couldn't they get the original actor?
Scheduling conflicts.
And they complained
He was
about it.
booked for something else. I'm like, I don't know why you care. If he did a good job, then fucking who gives a shit? I suppose some people just like to moan. Like I said, Star Wars fans are the biggest moaners on the planet. They just moan about everything.
Like, was Bail Organa in season 1 of this?
No.
Okay. I think I even said in like season 2 when Bail Organa first came in and was like, is that the same actor as like the last stuff that he's been in? And you were like telling me, no, that's not him. I was like, oh,
No,
okay.
it's new. It's a different guy. Yeah.
Like I can understand that reaction, like, oh, did they change the actor or something? Like, did he die or something? But like anything farther than
Nah.
that is like, oh, I can't believe they didn't get the original actor. It's just like complaining just for the sake of complaining.
No, people like to complain, and it's very irritating. It's like, you guys are just whining. You're whingers. You guys can shut the fuck up.
Ooh, I will say this about our previous little discussion about Rebels and Clone Wars. I really do love the Rebels depiction of Vader. How like his helmet is like all red, and it makes him look so much more intimidating. Like his eye holes, the lenses in his helmet.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a juxtaposition. Like the heroic sounding intro, and just like to her looking all sad and depressed.
He has a point.
I really hope in some of the future Star Wars projects they make reference to the people in this show, like Cassian, Clea, Luthen.
I mean, so you know, Luke's squadron in the original series was Rogue Squadron,
Yeah, that's because
named after this lot.
yeah. Oh,
Like,
just like a passing
I do love.
mention, just to keep the memory alive.
I probably will, but it's like it has to make sense for them to mention that. Like, it would be cool to hear them, or maybe see Claire pop up because she's. Oh, if she survives this.
Oh my god,
Or
why'd you have to fucking spoil me?
I say that, but like they've got K2 coming. You think they're gonna survive K2? Did you see what he did to everyone else?
Yeah.
There's no spoiler in that. You just go K2's coming. They're fine. Like the first time I saw this, I was like K2's coming. These guys are pretty fucked because K2's coming.
You know,
It's like the equivalent of Luke's coming or Vader's coming.
Cassian's little handgun just reminds me of the Blade Runner gun that Harrison Ford has.
Yeah, it was similar. It was, I believe, they designed it semi based off that.
One thing that I really love is in these combat scenarios, the ISB
Yeah,
officer that has like no experience out in the field always defers to the sergeant that has combat experience out in the field.
yeah.
Whew. Oh, come on, you got a good look.
I don't think he got that good a look.
Could at least say 3, maybe more. Ooh. Ooh. Great. Oh.
Oof.
Of course he's got a gun. Ooh.
Look how many goes out! Oh my god.
Ooh, it's so crazy.
See why you don't fuck with a K2 unit?
It's not like he even needs to hold the guy's body. He's already blaster proof.
Well, to a degree. There's probably probably won't survive like a high end military rifle, but civilian nonsense, sure. Cassie's like, oh, thank fuck for that. Ah,
I think there's some part of Cassian that really did like Luthen,
sure.
despite what he keeps saying.
Yeah, he's also feels indebted to Luthen because Luthen did a lot to like get him in the rebellion, to get him to actually, you know, give a shit.
Yeah.
Wow, he sounds sulky.
Okay, that's how I remember him looking in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thor seems happy, doesn't he? Eh,
Radis, I remember him because he's in Galaxy Heroes. He's a Mon Calamari.
he's a Mon Cala. Yeah, he's one of the Mon Cala. Eh. Merrick, blue leader from Rogue One. Sorry, sneeze.
Sorry,
I got
repeat that.
assaulted by a sneeze. So Merrick, the guy they just referenced, he's
Mm.
blue leader from Rogue One. Just keep that in mind. He's an X-wing pilot. I love K2.
Like you couldn't overpower them.
He's still gonna tell them that because Yeah, fair. Wow. Very
At least
grumpy, aren't they?
at least Cassian has integral news, because I bet if he didn't, he'd definitely get put away.
Court-martialed,
Yeah.
killed. Mm-hmm. Well, yep, Luthen's dead as fuck, though.
Thank you, Radis.
Mm-hmm. He's an annoying type.
Oh my god. Oh,
Mm. Infuriating, right?
oh my god.
There was a lot wrong with him. I love Cassian. Yep.
Yeah, you see that lady? I'm here because of him and Luthen.
Yeah. Oof, that's rude.
Damn
Dun, dun, dun. Come on. Dun, dun, dun. I love Mon Mothma, unironically. She's awesome.
it. Mm-hmm.
And very well acted.
They have to be really careful.
Also,
They have to be really careful.
obviously. Tivik's the guy on Kafrine at the beginning of Rogue One.
And that's the guy that I looked up on Google, the one that Cassian kills in the beginning of Rogue One.
Pretty much. It's the hero's welcome. She did deserve a hero's welcome, to be fair. Eh. Yeah, you were wrong.
I wonder whatever happens to Mon Mothma's kid.
Her daughter, she was married. She was fine.
I can't remember in the sequel trilogy. Is Mothma still around?
Yeah, she first appears in episode 6, you dipstick.
Which is why I prefaced that I said I don't remember.
Yeah, you see, this is why you need to watch more movies, Chris.
I mean, I know she was in like the ones with Luke Skywalker, those movies, but I'm talking about the ones with Rey and Kylo in the First
No,
Order.
she's not in the sequels at all. No. She is in Ahsoka though, and she's in the prequels. I don't. They for some reason they left her out of the sequels, which is honestly kind of weird to me because she did become the Chancellor of the New Republic, and then they just left her out and were like, "Oh, Leia," but they could have had this. Maybe the actress is a bit too young. Maybe that's it. And the original actress was too old or didn't want to do it, or they just forgot about her. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen more of the New Republic being less kind of shitty, if that makes sense.
It's crazy that everything that they were fighting for just got annihilated so quickly in Force Awakens.
It's also like Force Awakens. I don't know. Force Awakens made everything feel so small, even though they did it. It's like a terrorist group having a nuke, and like just nuking somewhere. And you're like, where the fuck did they come from? Why do they have this?
Yeah.
Narratively speaking, it was kind of dull. And I'm trying to the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I think I know why Ray feels like a Mary Sue. Even if she isn't straight up and does have struggles, she still feels like one because the plot doesn't make anything feel important enough.
I really hope the next batch of Star Wars movies is at least written well.
Ha!
Like get the person who wrote for this show.
Tony Gilroy won't do it.
Mm. I'm surprised that Clea didn't tell Cassian that she ended up killing him.
Mm. Do you remember that? That's from season 1, all the way back in the day. On old Darnie. Back in the beginning. Back in the
Oh, that's the guy's
beginning.
manifesto, right?
Yeah. Back in the beginning. Mm. Yep. Oof. What do you think he's gonna do?
Wait, what is this guy getting punished for?
Oh, he failed. So the Empire. He didn't catch. He didn't stop the plans getting out. He failed.
No.
What do you think the Empire does with even a failure like that? It's not really his fault.
Oh. He's gonna give the gun to Han Solo.
No, that's just standard issue for Imperial Army.
It's like they expect, or the guy expected him to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Of course you would. Yeah. Of course it's Val. Obviously, it had to be done. They couldn't give away the rebellion.
Hmm.
Of course you do. Yeah, cousin Mon Mothma of Chandrilla. Hmm. Come on. Gotta love General Draven, the Spy Master. Yay! You love a Spy Master, don't you? If it's not going well for them. That is a good question. How do you get to Kafrine, Cass? Ooh, things are starting to lead forwards, aren't they? What do you think, Chris? Think his
I've
sister still that means anything?
I have a feeling that this is gonna end with him leaving, and it's gonna just lead straight into Rogue One.
You reckon?
Doesn't even use his name. Wow.
It's like, the man you do not like is here. Who?
No,
Just the man.
no, I was talking to
This is
Bale.
Bale.
He just calls K2 droid.
Eh,
So mean.
he's very droidist, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a thing, really. That's fair.
Unfortunately.
I mean, he kind of does. He gets Leia. Leia goes, and Leia's, fucking Leia, dude.
Yeah. It really does suck that Bale just...
I do love that Bale gives. Cassian the Jedi's "May the Force be with you."
Mm-hmm.
That's always a cool little moment to show that Bale was always a believer in the Jedi. I think it's cool. Sorry to cut you off there, Chris.
It was... I'm guessing that was Bale's like last ever line, right? Ever spoken in Star Wars?
No, it's not. Yeah, he spoke more in Rogue One. I think his last line is, "I would trust her with my life." I think that's his last line in on-screen line. We know where he's going. I don't know about Woolman. I do know about the rest of them. We know where Cassian's going. Ah, shit. Ah, shit, man. Look at Mon Mothma's haircut.
Yeah.
She got screwed, man, by the rebellion. She joined the rebellion for
Oh, he got a new wife. Or a new girl.
You know what's funny? According to Andor's creator, if Mon had just told him, he would have kept her secrets for her.
Mm.
He was on her side like the whole time, but she just isolated herself because she felt that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, if she told him, then the Empire could have just like tortured him to get the information out of him.
Yeah, but if she told him, he would have come with her. So much would have been different for them. But that's not what happened. That's not the choices that they made. There's so much dark shit. Also, look where. Do you recognize that uniform?
Oh no.
He ended up in the same prison as Cassian.
I mean,
isn't that hilarious? Dramatic irony at its best, dude.
I mean, it fits for her being in like the worst prison ever.
Right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Saw Gerrera on Jeddah, looking out over the city, full of rage.
Mm-hmm.
Cassian Andor, Captain Cassian Andor of the Rebellion, about to do one of the most important missions of his entire life. Most important things he'll ever do. But he hasn't got there yet. He's only leaving to do it now.
No, Cassian, don't get on the ship. You're gonna die. No.
He's gonna die, but he's also gonna save everyone else. Remember that.
Yeah.
What he does now is important.
Can we please watch Rogue One right now?
No.
Please?
I have shit to do. No. You can watch it on your own, but we're not watching now. I I have actual other shit to do, my dude.
Bruh, you suck.
No, I don't. I'm responsible. I don't give in to peer pressure. You cannot peer pressure me into shit.
He's
I just don't
back!
give in.
Oh, B2.
K2 replaces B2.
Yeah.
Which of those two do you prefer? K or B?
Like, what kind of like factor were you looking at? Like coolness, adorableness, or what?
Any you want.
I think K2 is cooler, but B2 is like the cuter one.
Hmm.
I'm guessing that's Cassian's kid, right? We just need him to hold his hand out and a piece of the wheat moves to indicate that he's force sensitive. Just like in what was it, Last Jedi with the kid at the Canto Bite.
Yeah. And that's it.
Damn.
Andor is done.
That was such a good fucking TV show, man.
Right?
It was such a good TV show.
It's so good. It's just beautiful.
So good. Oh my god. I wish.
Bit heartbroken, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely
As you should be at the end of something good.
One of the best Star Wars pieces of media that they've ever created.
Oh no, 100%. But like, you know, it's even better than that when you're like, it's good even outside of being a Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it's really really good. How long? Rogue One is 2 hours and 17 minutes. Okay.
It's a long movie. It doesn't feel long when you watch it, but I'm like, we don't have time right now. We can do it tomorrow, but it is a long movie.
Yeah, but it's gonna be worth it seeing the conclusion to Cassian's story.
Oh, for sure. It's always worth it to see the end of Cassian's story, to see the end of all the stories you start.
Yeah, even though I have seen it before. I think I saw it in theaters when it first came out. But it hits so much harder now that we've seen his origin story in the first 2 seasons of the show.
Oh, obviously.
Okay, how would you rank all of the Star Wars shows from S to F?
Ha, you'd need to make up a tier list, and we can do it. You know what? We're gonna do that on a stream, Chris. We're gonna take a tier list. We're gonna get one of those tier lists. You get this tier lists online, and we're gonna rank them. We're gonna rank them all, mostly so we can keep track of what we've already ranked. Otherwise, we're gonna like do looping and changing things randomly.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
one. I found one. It has the movies, it has the animated shows, the obviously the live action shows, including the Tales of the Empire and then Tales of the Underworld and Visions.
Okay, we can do that. But before I do that, there is one important thing I need to go and do. I need to go empty my fucking bladder, man. I'll be right back.
Did you want to do it tomorrow or right now?
Either works, but either way, I need to go piss like right now, or there's gonna be problems.
Okay, yeah, we can.
So give me a minute.
We can do the tier list tomorrow, but come back once you're done, so we can talk about how we review the show. Man, that was such a good show. My boy Luthen, man. Fuck. I wish I remembered more about season 1 of Andor. But at first I didn't really watch season 1 of Andor when it came out. I watched it like a year or two after it came out. And it definitely became one of like my favorite one of my favorite shows. I think I even remember telling AC, like, I don't know if it was when we started the podcast or like after or before or after, but I remember telling him that, like, hey, I just finished watching season 1 of Andor and it was like really, really fucking good. Really, really good. And season 2 is even better. I don't know if they'll ever make a.
Okay, I'm back. I've managed to not cause problems. I think we'll do the thing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even like next week when we do it, so we have a good way to start it because we're out of like shit to watch after that.
Yeah.
So it might be a good idea to give it like a week, and then we can go over everything we've seen and like rank it as we go, which I reckon would be fun. And have that as like our one of our stream things.
Looking at this tier list, there's like some that I haven't seen. Like, there's Resistance, there's Rebels, Young Jedi.
Rebels is good. Resistance is mid.
There's Acolyte. There's Ahsoka, Bad Batch. Was this one Tales of the Jedi? The one with young Dooku. That one was good. There's Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, the Clone Wars. There's 2 Clone Wars. So I'm guessing one's the movie and then one's the show.
Yeah.
And they got the live action movies. They have Solo on there.
Solo's not bad. I enjoyed Solo.
Yeah. So what's the next Star Wars thing that you'd like to do a watch party of? One of the movies.
Well, the next one we're going to do obviously is Rogue One.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it a bit first before we go straight into it because it's a good idea just to like check what's really worth looking into.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till next week to try it. I'll give it a week to think about what we could watch because there's a few. I have a few ideas. I don't think Resistance is worth it. I've seen like season 1 of Resistance, and it's not as good as any of the other stuff because they don't commit enough to being Star Wars. They made it. It feels more like watching. I don't know. It feels generic Disney.
What is Resistance? Is that like First Order stuff?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And it feels generic Disney. It's not interesting. Like they don't even really focus heavily enough on the stuff that they claim to be important. They just sort of half-ass it for some reason.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I was thinking about this actually when I was at work, that we could watch the Mandalorian show.
I'd be keen to rewatch Mando. It's also because I want to see what your reaction is to the end of season 2. Like, if you get as hyped as a lot of people do.
Mandalorian season 2?
Yeah. If you remember what happens there.
I'm trying to remember.
If you don't remember, that's better. Because that means we can go and watch it, and you'll be able to have a more genuine reaction to it.
Because I know season 3 it ends with that pirate guy trying to destroy the town that Grief Karga is like the mayor of, or like the governor of, and I'm really blanking on season 2. I think season 2 is like goes into the Moff Gideon shit, right?
Yes. But it's fine. We'll wait and watch it, and you'll see.
All right. Okay, so
that's the better way. That's like by far the better way to do it, is just watch it and enjoy it and get into it again.
So let's talk about Andor.
Yes, let's talk about Andor. It's a good idea.
What did you think about the show, season 1 and season 2?
I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I always enjoy it because I enjoy all of Star Wars. It's just my jam.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, so Andor gives it a bit more of a more unique feeling or flavor, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
Wherein-
definitely doesn't feel like any of like the other Star Wars stuff that we've seen so far.
Yeah. It's got like its own unique thing going on that makes it feel
More
like
gritty.
yeah, it just feels a lot more abandoned, if that makes sense. Like it's not all about the fantasy, more fantastical stuff. It's about the characters, and it's a lot more like these people have a harder struggle than the heroes of the main films, right?
It's like more grounded, right?
Yeah.
They're not
But
like
that-
they're not like a Jedi. They're just like regular ass people that make do with blasters and
Yeah.
their wits. Not yeah. This
But see,
And-
the one thing that you should not take away from this is being like watching Andor and being like, see, Star Wars should not have Jedi and stuff. The problem with the thing you should take away from Andor is, why the fuck don't the Jedi have this quality of story? Why are they only giving it to this one this one little piece? And why is it that everyone thinks it's too hard to tell a good story, when the main problem is no one tells it with like respect. They all tell it with this headcanon that they've put in their heads from years, and they don't try and understand where the original inspirations for Star Wars came from. They don't try and that's why The Mandalorian felt better than a lot of like other stuff, because it felt like whoever watched it, they also watched all the inspirations behind Star Wars. They went and watched the Akira Kurosawa films. They went and watched westerns. So
Yeah.
it feels like Star Wars but a western, and you're like, it's awesome. Andor feels like Star Wars but a spy thriller. It's like if the Bourne trilogy was a fucking Star Wars thing, that's probably what it would be like.
Mm-hmm. I
That-
feel
that-
I feel
Hmm?
the exact same way. I wish we had more grounded Star Wars TV shows like this
Ground-
one.
Grounded's not what I would say we need. What we need, see, what I say is this. We need variety for Star Wars, right? For things to work. I think the lesson that you should get from Andor isn't we need more grounded shows. The lesson you should get is we need more variety, because you can tell better stories when you've got a lot of variety in it, right?
Mhm.
When you don't feel locked into a specific style of storytelling, which is like, say, for example, just grounded stuff. Then it gets boring, it gets repetitive, and then they kind of lose what's interesting. If it's just a very specific set of rules for fantasy, same problem. If you have stuff where you can either mix those two things to get like more grounded, or say you take the Jedi, right? Here's my example. You take the Jedi, but you put them in a story that feels like Lord of the Rings. So you put them in a big epic story, which is what the originals and the sequels tried to do, right? They gave a big story about these people who have more magical aspects to them. And it all came down to this like idea of like, let's go and have this big story and be epic with it in a fashion that's like Lord of the Rings. I'm using Lord of the Rings where I'm like, you shouldn't tell with the exact story of Lord of the Rings, but it should make you feel the same way those films do, where you watch it and you go, this is big, this is epic, this feels big. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that's why the sequels kind of fail, because it doesn't feel big.
Yeah.
Like if you go watch the Battle of Endor, right? So episode 6, you'll watch the end Battle of Endor. That feels like a massive battle, right? It feels like there's this big problem that's being overcome by these characters. And then you take that to the Battle of Exegol, and you're like, it feels like two small guys fighting in a corner. The fuck? It doesn't feel big because the like final order, I believe, if I remember correctly, is what it's called, doesn't feel particularly final or big. It just feels sort of there. Palpatine coming back feels jarring.
So out of
And-
nowhere.
It feels jarring, and yeah, so like completely out of nowhere. And then on top of that, every single time they've tried to bring Palpatine back in Legends or canon, it's been bad. They can't do it because they're like, you don't do resurrections with dark side characters and it not feel stupid or like contrived, or like someone couldn't think of a more interesting villain to use, or like even be creative enough to create something new. They just had to use what was already there because less effort. If that makes sense.
What do you think the next show, or the next, like, let's say that you have the opportunity to make a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
What would you make it be?
So if I had to do another Star Wars show, honestly, I would try and tell a story from the time of the Sith, like when there were thousands of Sith, not just like 2 of them doing tiny stuff hiding in a corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what, like, most of the live action stories we've had of Sith. Whenever the Sith appear, they're the little sneaky bastards, and there's 2 of them in a corner, conniving, and we all know where that's going to lead, right? We know where that story's going. We know it's going to culminate all the way up to like Palpatine taking over the galaxy and forming the Empire. But what would be more interesting is maybe telling the stories of like the old Republic. You know, having those stories of like the
set in
giant
KOTOR
fucking
times.
army of Sith. Yeah, so you go into the times of like KOTOR, where you don't even have to do the story of Revan. You could even tell stories after Revan's time in like the time between SWTOR and KOTOR, or even just like the time of the MMO, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good time for storytelling, is just using the MMO's era, because it's got a lot of interesting things you could do, and it wouldn't really trample on stuff if you just used it, because it's not really going to affect anything that happens after. You don't have to be tied down to what happens in the Skywalker saga. You're telling your own unique story in a corner where you can do whatever the fuck you want. And because you're making it, you don't even have to be tied to the game anymore, because was never a thing for like George Lucas or Disney. Like, George Lucas also didn't care about the extended universe, or what's now Legends, because it was a confusing mess written by like a lot of different people who were just like, we know Star Wars, and then they wrote whatever. So you got weird stories of like 70-year-old Han Solo still doing what he was doing when he was like 20. And you're like, they couldn't think of anything else. So I would go into the Old Republic, introduce completely new characters who have zero connection to anyone we've ever met, and just be like, these are the characters we got. You could tell the story of maybe, the way I would do it is I would go and I'd take a pair of characters, right? I would take one Jedi apprentice, I'd take a Jedi Padawan, and a Sith Padawan, and a Sith apprentice, right? So I have these 2 parallel stories running. I would probably set it as I'd probably format it as alternating episodes between which character gets the focus, starting with the Jedi, showing how the Jedi work, and then in the next episode, showing the differences between the Jedi and the Sith, and how they train their apprentices, how they approach the Force, how they approach each other, and how that like interconnectedness works for those characters. I feel like that would be the most interesting way to tell that kind of story. It'd be far more interesting than doing the thing that everyone else has done, where they're like, oh, Empire, haha, we're telling the story of the Empire, and you're like, but I know the story of the Empire. It's the Palpatine story, and you've told it to me.
It's been
like,
done so many
ad
other
nauseum.
so much time, so much. It's like overdone at this point.
Yeah, and they're like, just this one era. It also means you could introduce like different ways of seeing characters. You could introduce the Hutts in a new way, where you're like seeing them as this actual power within the galaxy, as opposed to just this like gangster group that's talked about, but we never see do much. It would just be interesting to see them as like as the threat they're supposed to be. See the Jedi as they're often described, not even just because characters like Obi-Wan wistfully saw them as this, but because they were this giant legend throughout the galaxy, and people saw them to be a legend. So it's like, how did they earn that legend? How did the Sith vanish to the point of there being 2 left, you could tell that story, and it would be so much more interesting than what we've got. Even the Acolyte chose, if you ask me, kind of a boring era to tell the Sith story, because there's not really all that much to tell. You just being like, cool, we're making the Sith character, and he's gonna be a badass because he kill all the Jedi he meets because he has to, and you're like, okay, but like, why is this important? Why does we need the story in any way, shape, or form? It doesn't do anything interesting.
If I was to make a Star Wars show, I just do like a bounty hunter show, not like Mandalorian, but like
the problem is if you did, people would instantaneously compare it to Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know, but
you wouldn't have a chart. So I wouldn't stick with that. What would be more interesting, that if you wanted to do that, right, you could do a bounty hunter story, I suppose. But why don't you do a smuggler story, right? So you kind of do a different profession that's parallel to the one that you're used to and you keep thinking of. But instead you go with, okay, cool, we're going to do smugglers. So we're going to do the guys who go and sneak shit around the galaxy for those, say, they're not even that like noble. They're actual smugglers who straight up just like smuggle drugs through the galaxy. You could tell an interesting story about the moral quandaries of that. You could even have more of like a Hondo or Jack Sparrow-esque type character going, and that would be interesting in its own way. So yeah, I wouldn't do bounty hunter mostly because people would be like, "Isn't this just Mandalorian without Grogu?" You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's also partially because everyone would just instantly compare it to Mando.
I also feel like the bounty hunters are probably like the coolest, because we've seen like so many different bounty hunters. They're all like so different. You mean you got Dengar Aura, you got Bosk, then you get like Boba Fett, Jango, and then obviously Din. But
another interesting, yeah.
I feel like there's so much potential in like like a strict, maybe like a crew of bounty hunters that work together, like that one episode of Clone Wars when Bosk and young Boba and Aura Singh were like all working together to try and get revenge on Mace Windu and shit. That was cool.
I mean, you could get that. There are quite a few interesting things you could do, but the problem is, again, the fact that it would feel too similar to Mando, and you wouldn't be like, unless you have a story you can justify telling to people, that no one's going to care. That it's probably not going to get watched much because everyone's going to just instantly compare it to Mandalorian.
Either that, or make like a droid centered show based on how basically the droids are just like second class citizens, and they don't have any rights even though they're clearly sentient. Like you saw Solo, and remember how L337 was like, droids need rights, we gotta save the droids, stuff like that.
True. But the main reason why, I think there's a few other reasons why people are like a bit more lukewarm on like saving droids and stuff, is because you can just rebuild a droid for the most part. You could, like, if you damage a droid, you can just fix it. You can back up their memories to places. Like, if you watch episode 9, R2's backed up 3PO's memory to the point of, you get this impression that 3PO gets his memory wiped regularly enough that R2 just refreshes it every now and then. Is like, oh my god, this fucking guy, and then fixes it, gives him his memory back.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, just because they can be rebuilt doesn't mean we can't have like compelling stories about them.
Oh no, you're not wrong. It's a bit harder as well to get an audience to bond to a character like that, because they won't have the same emotive faces and stuff. I know you go, oh, but Mando, and then, but my argument against
I wasn't gonna go Mando. Like I was gonna go like, oh, I mean, we have like R2D2, C3PO, and BB-8, and all the droids that we already know.
But how many of those characters can you see holding down like a story purely on their own?
I mean, not like C3PO. Maybe like a K2, maybe.
maybe, but I'm still doubtful because it's difficult to have those characters connect with an audience, being as they're very different and they don't have any facial expression, or because of the very nature of droids, they also don't have body language. They don't really have a way to properly connect with a human audience watching.
I mean, that's why you got to get like really good voice actors to properly convey the emotions. Like Alan Tudyk was really good for K2SO. He's like a really good voice actor. Well, obviously you can't. I don't. Maybe you could get Alan Tudyk, but just make a new character, a new droid character. I mean, Alan Tudyk right now is voicing so much shit in like DC. I mean, he's voicing one of the robots in the new Superman movie. He voiced Dr. Phosphorus in Creature Commandos. Same, like the exact same kind of voice, but just like in different ways.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's also just like it's a harder sell.
I mean, I could see
That makes sense.
I could see a lot of people clamoring for like a droid TV show. I mean, droids are like one of the standout,
essentially Star Wars things.
Yeah, that and like some of like the standout characters. I mean, you get like R2D2, C3PO, BB-8, and then you get like they're obviously there's a market for them. I mean, judging by like
Maybe.
how I mean, shit, R2D2 and C3PO are still around, even though they came out in like the prequels and then the sequels, or not the prequels, the prequels and then the originals, and they're still around in the sequels.
That's true.
There's obviously like, oh man, where's R2D2? Oh shit, R2D2 died. Oh, that sucks.
I mean, that's true. But it's also like it's always difficult to sell a droid character as someone that would be a leading character for anything.
Why do you say that? Just because it's hard to emote?
It's hard to connect with a character like that. The other era though that I was thinking that would be interesting for a lot of people to watch would be the Mandalorian Civil War, which gets referenced a lot in Clone Wars, and it's how like Obi-Wan and Satine met, and that would be an amazing animated show to have, because you could show the whole of that war going down, and all of the like dark shit that goes with it, and have that as like a very powerful emotional core to a story, and have like an Obi-Wan centric story, which isn't just, you know, him being sad about like fucking up with Anakin and so on. You could have a very interesting dynamic of having the like build up to his romance with Satine. And that would just be a different style story, plus more Qui-Gon's always a win.
I think it'd be cool to have like another Tales anthology show. Like how Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, stuff like that. I would love to see them.
There's definitely going to be more.
I would love to see them do.
But the stuff we need is like Tales of the Sith would be amazing.
I would love to,
in fact,
see them do like an episode on Grievous and how he came to be.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. But then that'd probably be in a show called like Tales of the Separatists or something, which, to be honest, would be interesting. Given the Separatists aren't supposed to be like the straight up bad guys, they're just meant to be the
fall guys.
The guys who are against. They're not even. I mean, yeah, they're the fall guys for Pelps and Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the bad guys by any means, or that at least not the everyday Separatists. They're like the leaders obviously were, because fucking Dooku and Ventress and whoever else was around being kind of Dooku and Ventressy, which you don't really want as your main characters, because it's hard. But Ventress even got her own thing, and that worked out quite well.
Yeah, I saw that Tales of the Underworld. I didn't know that she died in the beginning. That was really weird that this just starts with her funeral with Voss and then Obi-Wan.
Oh, she was not.
I'm guessing she dies in
Yeah,
like one of the books or something.
yeah. So she and Voss had a romance in one of the books, where he was assigned to assassinate Dooku, and they like fell in love. And in the final
Mm.
battle against, but then Voss like fell to the dark side, and she died trying to save him. Where Dooku like impaled her on his lightsaber. She was dead. She was dead, man.
Mm. Okay.
It was a traumatic. It was a traumatic time, shall we say?
Yeah. Man, I really wish
But it
Quinlan
was,
Voss made an appearance again. That those little bit of episodes in the Clone Wars were so cool with having to find the hut and him basically being like a tracker Jedi.
yeah. It'd be cool to actually just have, and he is confirmed to be alive in Kenobi that he survived Order 66.
Yeah, and
It'd be cool if he came,
he all
yeah, if he
they
came in one of those
also
Tales books stories.
they also confirmed that he lived in the Ventress episode that I was talking about.
Yeah, it would be interesting to have something like a Tales of the of the path, or the the like path of people who were like saving Jedi. It'd be cool to see like a Tales of the Path or something.
Tales of the Survivors.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that was Andor. Really good show. I really hope that they make something like Andor or something like on the same level of quality because Andor was definitely one of the best things that they've done recently. Uh, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it, AC?
It's probably an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, I'd say a 9, most definitely.
Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow when we watch Rogue One. We get the final cap on
Yeah.
Cassian's story, and then we will be rating all the Star Wars stuff so far that we've seen.
We were, yeah, which I've seen all of it. What can I say? I'm a completionist nerd. I regret nothing about having watched everything. Although I will admit, I couldn't finish Resistance. Sorry to Resistance any of the 3 Resistance fans who watch our show. I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm assuming you're going to go off and play Ultra Kill.
I already finished Ultra Kill as much as I could because it's still in early access. But
Fair enough.
I got as far as I could in that game. But I'm most likely because I just bought like 2 boomer shooter games. I bought Postal Brain Damage Trepang 2 and then Proteus. So we're most likely going to be doing some Postal Brain Damaged. If you guys want to watch me do that, it's going to be on Chris Lewis TV. Are you going to be doing anything else today, AC, or are you just going to be
Nah, I'm
chilling
going
out?
to bed. I'm going to do the responsible adult thing and go to bed. I'm going to go sleep.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
it's like night evening over there, right, for you?
Yeah, it's night. It's it's 9:30 in the evening.
Okay. Yeah, it's 2:23 p.m. for me right now. So I'll go
Yeah,
ahead
you've
and
got time.
I'll go ahead and let you get to bed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Andor season 2 with me.
Yeah, it was
Really
fun.
fun. Really fun. I can't wait to watch
Yeah.
Rogue One tomorrow and then eventually Mandalorian season 1. It's gonna be fun watching some more
Yeah.
Star Wars stuff with you.
Yeah, it'll also be fun revisiting Mando. I haven't watched in a few years.
Yeah.
I do enjoy revisiting old shows, like, especially long after they're finished. It's fun just like getting back into old things.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I've been on a kick of like avoiding Star Wars for a little bit because I want to do a full rewatch. But it's better when I haven't been like fully immersed in it like all the time.
Yeah. All right. Until tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope you have a good rest of your day / night, whatever time it is for you. Yeah, see you tomorrow.